Hello, hello. My name is Cheryl White, and I want to welcome you to the Black History Experience. Now, normally we have this live with some good, delicious food, but unfortunately, due to COVID, we're going to have to just give you a little bit of some of our past memories, and we hope you enjoy it. You know, some skits, a little dance, some poetry, and we're going to sprinkle in a few new things because we want you to enjoy it. And you know where we're going to start? We're going to start where it all began, Africa. Africa. Some, when they hear that word Africa, think of Tarzan. Some think of National Geographic magazines. Then others may think of the UNICEF commercials. Yes, and let's not forget the pyramids. But oh, when diving deeper, Africa is a continent which holds 54 countries. Ethiopia, Egypt, Nigeria, Tanzania, Sudan, Madagascar, Ghana, Zambia, Cameroon, Mali, Senegal, and let's not forget the Congo, just to name a few. The first human was found in Africa. According to Henry L. Gates, an American historian, journalist, he said the major scientific breakthroughs confirmed that Africa absolutely was the cradle of humanity. Africa is where art, music, agriculture, and the first writings and systems of law began. Africa is rich in natural resources, such as uranium, natural gases, diamonds, iron, silver, cobalt, which is a beautiful, beautiful blue, and then some. Africa had farmers, herdsmen, artisans, mathematicians, religious leaders, and kings and queens, royalty.
Ogwo mayele, 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 ogwo mayele. Ogwo mayele, ogwo mayele, ogwo mayele, ogun meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Baba meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Oke meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Baba meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Baba meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Oke meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Baba meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Oke meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Baba meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Oke meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Oke meyi mari boisea, arere owo. Maribore, ye, maribo, oke lamiwo. Boke lamiwo. Arere lamiwo. Onile lamiwo. Baba lamiwo. Ogo lamiwo. Arere lamiwo. Oke lamiwo. Baba lamiwo.
Yes.
I am known for being the first woman of African American descent and Native American descent for holding a pilot's license. Not only that, for being the first person of African American descent and Native American descent for having an international pilot's license.
If you was going to describe yourself, I ain't say 4 words, and I ain't say 6. 1 to 2 words. Tell me about it.
I give you one word. I give you persistent.
I love it.
And I give you a quote that I live by. I won't take no for an answer.
Well, before you start quoting, because you sound good, would you tell me a little bit more about your family life that I know? Tell me where you went and how you went there.
I come from a big family.
All right.
My parents were sharecroppers, Jordan and Susan Coleman, and we lived in Atlanta, Texas.
Okay.
And I am one of 13 children.
Whoa.
Again, a big family. At the age of 2, my dad left and he had to go to Oklahoma to try to make a better life for us. So my mom, being a strong colored woman that she was, she instilled learning and education in us. So at the age of 12, I did something awesome. I received a scholarship from Missionary Baptist Church School.
Love it.
When I graduated from there, I saved money, and then at the age of 18, I paid for myself to go to school. Anybody know, in your day now they call it Langston University. Anybody ever heard of Langston University?
I was there when they opened that school.
Langston University. Back in my day, it was known as Oklahoma Colored Agricultural and Natural University.
That's what I'm talking about.
I was only there for a little bit of time because money ran out. So I was only there for one term, ended up having to go back home. But again, when I say persistent, that means I was an unstoppable force. So I went home, got my thoughts together. I moved to Chicago with my brother. I worked at a chili parlor. I was a manicurist, and I even worked for the Chicago White Sox. I listened to a lot of pilots come and talk about how they was flying planes in World War I. That sparked the interest. In the United States, being a colored woman, you couldn't go to no school to get no pilot's license.
Yeah, we want to give an applause for Miss Rosa Parks.
That's what I said. Give her a round of applause.
But she's labeled as the first woman who refused to give up her seat on the bus for a white person, but that's just not true. I was the first one. I was the first one who refused.
And you are who?
I mean, I can tell you who I am,
Okay.
but I'd rather tell you a little bit more about myself. Let's just go back to that day, March 1955. I was yanked up off the bus, out of my seat, after I paid my bus fare, because I refused to give up my seat for a white woman who was sitting across from me.
Okay. Tell us more. What's going on with you?
Well, I was only 15 years old, and they told me that I had to get up. It was at that time against the law for a colored person to sit across from a white person. Even though I paid my fare and was sitting in the right section, there was overflow, and the white woman had to sit across from me, but they told me I had to get up. I refused. I knew my rights. I paid my fare.
So why did you get up? Because you should have got up if they told you to get up. I don't mean no harm.
Well, we lived in a time where, it was law for black folks to have to go on different entrances and use different toilets, different water fountains, different entrances to the movie theater. And, me being 15 years old, I was in school. We were learning about black history. We were learning about all the people who were before us and made a way for us to even be in school. And we learned about Mrs. Harriet Tubman and Miss Sojourner Truth. And I was empowered by them. So when I left school, I had my head held high. And when they told me I had to get up, I felt like Harriet Tubman was pushing me down on this side.
Okay.
And Sojourner Truth was pushing me down on this side.
Okay.
I didn't have to get up and give up my seat for anybody.
I believe Shirley Chisholm, when she was the first African American to run for office for the presidency, had this woman in mind.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. She is the star of the Democratic Party whose Get Out the Vote efforts have transformed the state of Georgia. Please welcome back to A Late Show,
Stacey Abrams. Shout out. She rocked the vote in Georgia. And no, not for herself, but she proved that our vote do matter. And she made all of us proud to say, Stacey Abrams, whatever you do, we definitely applaud you and have your back. Big congratulations. I was born October the 26th, 1911. Water Street by the Mississippi River. See, when I was younger, I was kind of crippled. Well, it was for a little while because, see, my daddy, he didn't believe in no hospital. He was a preacher and he believed in God. So they would rub my legs and pray over me. And eventually you see me standing, so I did get better. My mother died when I was 5. And well, I went to one of my aunts and they loved them some church. Now, in the Baptist church when I was singing, because see, I was influenced by the Pentecostals, they say, and okay, y'all, come a little closer. I used to listen to Betsy Smith. I wasn't supposed to, because she had that kind of music we weren't supposed to listen to back then. But I did, and it kind of influenced me to sing a little bit and move a little bit. Well, when I was about in my teens, I was able to move to Chicago with another aunt. And oh yes, all the time in church. That's where we did. And well, I got to sing with a group called the Johnson Singers. It was gospel, and I was singing and doing what I need to do. But it wasn't enough. I wanted to do more. Now, back then, see, you couldn't just sing gospel. Not too many people knew about that. They wanted you to sing something, they say the blues. I saw Jesus one time in the field, and he wanted me to sing the gospel. And I said, I'm going to vow to sing the gospel all the time. Now, my family, much as they don't like to be going in them old juke joints, when I made a record, they went in there. Something about the wheat and the tear. They were so excited just to hear me. Say, some people teared up when they heard me. Well, I'd rather not just keep mentioning that because, see, back then, Negroes wasn't supposed to have no music, and they put a boycott against me, and they didn't even let the record go where it needed to go. Took me 7 years to even record again. Did y'all know that the Grammys made a category just for me? Yeah, they did. They called it the gospel. Yeah, that's why I was able to get a Grammy for that. Well, y'all might not know everything, but y'all might know 1959. See, in 1959, I played in a movie. And in this movie, I was able to sing what I love to sing. It was called Imitation of Life. April 17, 1959. I stood up there and I said, soon will be done the troubles of the world, troubles of the world, troubles of the world, I'm saying soon will be done with the troubles of the world. I'm going home to live with God. done. Troubles of the world, troubles of the world, troubles of the world, soon will be done. The troubles of the world, I'm going home to live. Y'all know I didn't sound like that. Wait a minute. I'm going home to live with my Lord. My name is Mahalia Jackson, and I was a famous gospel singer. Roses are red, violets are blue. That's about where I can take you. But Phyllis Whitley, she started it out. Langston Hughes, Gwendolyn Brooks, Maya Angelou, phenomenal woman. James Baldwin, Lucy Clifton, poets, poetry. Is something about that word. Crystal Staircase was by Langston Hughes. It's a mother talking to her son who was just going through something. And she had to let him know, no matter what you're going through, for her life wasn't always crystal stairs. With Lucy Clifton, it was something about talking about the hips. You got to go there for yourself. Homage to the hips. Now we want you to enjoy two short inserts of these poems. One written by Rashonda Bray, spoken by Monica Wesley. The other written by and spoken by Mark Rumpf. Enjoy.
Society says it's simple. They have a slave mentality. No self-respect, no high esteem, can't buy a house, but their Jordans be clean. Can't pay their rent, but always on the scene. Never associate with professionals, but drug-abusing fiends. Bound by credit, bound by disease, bound by education, bound, not free. Quartered off by society, police don't answer when they scream. No one takes them seriously because of slave mentality. Don't have much skills beyond athletics, never their mind, only aesthetics. Their offsprings are unruly, always acting out of line, only take pride in fighting and shaking their behinds. It's so rare to see their business ever succeed. It's even more rare to find one that can read. Always the perpetrators, always the thieves. Society doesn't expect much. They have a slave mentality. Why is there so much black on black crime? Why can't they be benevolent? Why can't they even try? How can others value the lives of murderers and thieves? The world hopes they fade out. They have slave mentality. But slaves did not have this mindset like what we currently see. For if they did, would blacks have ever been free? Would Brown have fought the Board of Education for unsegregated equality? Wouldn't they just have settled according to slave mentality? Would slaves have risked fatality ignored the threats of hanging from trees, and hid underground massively if they had slave mentality? Would Harriet, Garrett, and Marcus be the people we know to hold in esteem? Would Martin have even dared to dream if they had slave mentality? Would Sojourner be known for the truth? Would Toussaint have ever rounded his troops? What about Frederick Douglass? Would he have learned to read if he had slave mentality? Look at your history. You will see. Ignore the lies, uproot the weeds. Our ancestors had boldness like never before seen. They shook a nation to be treated like human beings. Though born slaves, they demanded liberty. To travel north, they learned astrology. They fought hard to make no apologies that they were emancipated with nothing, and yet they believed that their own children they had the ability to feed, and their schools would enable them to read. No matter the challenge, they had tenacity. No matter the obstacle, they overcame with great ease. They never received reparations, but they got their reprieve. They broke all barriers contrary to popular belief. How can people be born with nothing, stand on their own 2 feet? Well, honey, it's simple. That's their slave mentality.
The piece I'm going to share with you today is entitled, We've Got Work to Do. And every time you hear the words wake up, I need you to say, we've got work to do. McDonald's burger sure tastes good. Wake up.
We got work to do.
We are so glad that you are here at the Black History Experience. Wake up.
We got work to do.
Perfect. I've never been as aware of my blackness like I am in 2017. See, 2 years ago, I was proud to be black. But this year, I see a different scene. I'm not coming to you today to tell you the same old sad song. I'm just in a different headspace as racial changes and political things are being strung along. Wake up.
We got work to do.
I would be a fool to act like everything in America is A-okay. We know what we're up against every single day. A ban set in place to keep certain folks from going to and fro. This doesn't make us feel welcome. Things were bad enough even with the previous status quo. But I desire to unite people from all ethnicity, shape, and size. We're much better together, though we've been programmed to hate, slander, and despise. Wake up.
We got work to do.
See, my white neighbor, co-worker, boss, and friend, they had nothing to do with slavery. To hold them accountable for way back when, well, see, that will be quite unsavory. We have to clean the lens in which we see the world. Hurting people hurts others, but see, we can change the game. Diversity is not diversity if everybody looks the same. Wake up.
We got work to do.
Today, I encourage you to take charge of your own life. Don't relive the traumas of the past. Respond to every lookalike situation with a knife. We have come together in unity. We desire to win. Racism, prejudice is not only unfair, but should be considered a sin. Wake up.
We got work to do.
See, the saying states the wrong room is the one in which you are the smartest. But if your circle doesn't contain members from other races, you are stifling God, the artist. See, people from different backgrounds, locations, and experiences, they all serve to enhance your life. What good would a painting be, let's see, if red hated white and green always wanted to pick a fight? Wake up.
We got work to do.
Attending a predominantly white church allowed me to see God in a different way. He took what I knew and showed me, son, even if it's like this, it's still okay. In life, it's not a us, but they don't look like us. See, they're not the enemy. They just grew up in a different color scheme. Wake up.
We got work to do.
I hope that I've sparked a desire to cross into the territories of the unknown. Even animals in the wild know the advantage of using another as a host. It's mutual benefit between the two. a strategy that has sustained life across many, many coasts. Whites, blacks, Jews, Hispanics, let's live in a world of love and unity. It won't be easy. You can't take ego. It takes an entire village to change a community. Jesus was not affected by the places he went or the things that he endured. Every aspect of the things were changed by him, because in his presence, he left them cured. Wake up.
We got work to do.
Rise up. Speak out. Rally together. Unite forever. We are stronger as a unit. We've got work to do.
History makers are not just back in the past of 1960s, 1940s, and so on and so on. They are also history makers as we speak, in the form of Lisa Diane Bradley. She was born July 30th, and unfortunately she's no longer with us as of July 30th, 2018. But definitely she has left her mark. She not only was a God-fearing woman and would talk to you about the goodness of the Lord, but she also was a lover of Black history, not only for young people, but as well as adults. She played Harriet Tubman and many other skits that she played for a senior center where she worked at, but she also, in the Black History Experience, played Hattie McDaniel.
Now, wait a minute. Hold up. I am not really a maid, but I have been in over 40 films playing the role as a maid and as a cook. Oh, a lot of people didn't like me playing the role as a maid because they thought it was demeaning to my race, especially the NAACP. They didn't like it. But I felt like I should be able to play whatever role I want to play. Do you agree? Yeah, that's me. Do you want me to tell you a little bit about me?
Tell me.
Well, first of all, I'm a singer. I wrote my own songs. I am a comedian. I am an actress. I'm even a dancer. And I was one of the first Black women to be on a radio show. Yeah, that's me. Do you know who I am, my name?
Wait a minute, let me take my time. And you've been sweeping hard too.
Yes. My name is Hattie McDaniel.
I salute Black excellence in the form of Lisa Diane Bradley. We salute you.
Science fiction writer extraordinaire, literary genius, the mother of Afrofuturism. All of these titles were given to me, and little did they know, I was just writing to escape my own problems. As a little girl, I grew up in Pasadena, California. I didn't have the same struggles as others, but I was awkward. I was tall. I didn't have many friends. And on top of that, I was an only child. Now imagine how boring life was for someone like me. In school, they labeled me. They put me in classes that I did not need just because I was a little different. Dyslexia is not a problem. So I spent my time diving into books. Now, people will say, science fiction, politics, Black people, those topics don't mix. But when you read my books, you can't help but be submerged into the stories. When I was 8 years old, I found fantasy books. Peter Pan was my favorite. And right next to Peter Pan, I found science fiction. When I was home alone one day, I watched the movie Girl Devil on Mars. I wasn't supposed to watch it, but from then on, my imagination was limitless. I said to myself, I can beat a story like that. I can do a better story than that. And I began writing My story wasn't better, but I could not escape my passion to write. In those times, it was not common for women to write. My aunt told me, girl, you can't be no Negro writer. You might as well get a job cleaning like your mother. But I pressed on, and I won my first writing competition right there at Pasadena City College. Now, I only won $15, but I won first place. I later went on to attend UCLA, from where I graduated with honors. I then published my very first novel, science fiction, in 1976. I made it, and I was known to write science fiction novels, things that would blow your mind. And not only that, I used my platform to voice the struggles of Black people, Black women, and the plight of Black men. Even Black leaders at the time labeled our ancestors as passive, pushovers. I wrote to honor our ancestors, and I wrote for the future. After I published my first science fiction novel, I went on to publish even more novels addressing topics about slavery, how life would be for the Black race in an apocalyptic war world, in a world in which we have to use transcendence and shape-shifting to survive. I wrote for the future, and I wrote to honor our ancestors. I am Octavia E. Butler, a science fiction novelist.
I was born December 19, 1875. Now, I was born to two former slaves, which means we were poor back then. I was a sharecropper with my parents, and I also worked in the coal mines to help support my family. Now, because we had to run the farm, education was not the highest priority. So because of that, I did not attend school until my late teens, probably around age 20. But once I enrolled, I finished 4 years of curriculum in only 2 years. Now, between the years of 1897 and 1918, I progressed my schooling and my knowledge. I eventually became the principal of Douglas High School in Huntington, West Virginia. At the same time, I enrolled in Brea College, where I received my bachelor's in literature. I went to study abroad a little bit. I became a superintendent of a school in the Philippines. After my studies abroad, I came back stateside and I enrolled into the University of Chicago, where I received my master's. And in 1912, I became the second African-American male to receive my doctorate at Harvard University. A couple years after that, I became the dean of Howard University. Now, I didn't want to just keep my knowledge to myself. I wanted to educate the nation and even the world. So, me and my colleagues, 1915, we established the Association of the Study of the Negro Life and History. It was my passion to present, to preserve, and to interpret Negro life, Negro history to a broad audience. Now, during this time, I became a very well-known author. I wrote many books, but in 1933, the one that I'm most famous about, The Miseducation of the Negro, which is still very relevant even today. In 1926, I established and I launched in February, the National Negro History Week. Then in 1976, it became Black History Month. Now I'm no longer with you as of April 3rd, 1950. But I will leave you with this. In our so-called democracy, we are accustomed to give the majority what they want, rather than educate them to understand what is best for them. And I am Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black history.
Walk, oh, guide me, Lord, walk with me.
Good afternoon, Mama. How you feeling? I'm sorry, I'm hungry.
You is always hungry. I got something for you over there, though. You gonna get Grandma one?
Those are good, Mama.
You like them?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mama, I heard you talking and moaning, it seemed like all night long before I went to sleep. Mama, all I heard was, ooh, Lord.
Hey. Don't be teasing, Mama. Mama was talking to the Lord.
Mama, you talked to the Lord for that long?
Listen, I was talking about you. Asking her what you say. 1 minute you want to be building houses, you want to be an architect. Next minute, last month you want to be a doctor. Now this month you say you want to be a lawyer.
Mama, it seemed like you're talking to the Lord for a long time just for me.
Listen, I told you it wasn't just for you. But I did ask them, bless you to come back and forth to school and bless that mind of yours. But listen, the rest was between me and the Lord.
Okay, Mama. Can I tell you what my teacher was talking about today?
Well, I guess you can tell me. Come on.
Today in school, she was talking about rights and being careful and walking straight home.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know what a right is.
To make it kind of short, when you kind of been put down on, so you can do things that almost like it becomes violent sometimes. But, you know, I heard a little bit about that too. Something might happen soon.
Mama, you afraid?
No, I'm okay. And you're going to be okay too. But I want you to come straight home from school. You hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, I've been waiting for you all day to help me. Bring me that basket, please. I got 4. That one right there. Yeah. That. Yeah, Mom need it. Put it right there for me. Mom was so glad you came home. I didn't know what else I'm going to do if you didn't come home. So I can do this. Yeah. Listen, enough about all that. You see the new sheet up on? You like it? All right. You know, enough about that. Tell me what you learned in school.
What I learned in school?
Yeah.
All right. Mama, I've been ready for this. I've been waiting. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
Double short.
I'm kind of ready now.
Okay. You ready? Triple short?
If Grandma ain't ready, she's ready now.
Okay. 45 times 7 equals 315. 16 times 8 equals 128. 6 divided by 3 equals 2. 17 divided by...
Hold on. Yeah, that's good. That's enough. That's good enough. Yeah, you did good.
Mama, I have more.
I know you do. But right now, you did good. And you need to find that broom and get the sweeping because your mother and father coming home soon. Come on. You can do it. You take a long time to no disrespect. See that right there? Go on over there too. Let the sweeping. Grandma don't fold like she used to. Grandma used to fold good back in the day. I don't know what's going on. Grandma's not folding like she used to. Ezekiel, what's wrong with you? Nah, you sweeping like you want the dust to kind of go on its own. Is you okay?
Well, today while I was in school, my teacher asked what do we want to be when we grow up. And I told her I wanted to be a lawyer. She acted like she couldn't even hear me. Every time Ms. Johnson asks a question, I raise my hand and she calls on everyone else except me. Sometimes I feel invisible being in this white school.
Invisible? Wait a minute now. You feel invisible. What your grandma tell you before?
But Mama, it's hard.
I ain't asked you was it hard. I said what your grandma done told you before for your heart and your mind.
Press your way through.
Oh, now you're talking.
Press your way through. Oh.
Come on now.
You can't afford to give up now. So you got to press your way through.
Press your way through. Tell them again. Tell them again.
Press your way through.
Can you imagine all that went through?
Press your way through.
Holy slave. Come on now.
You can't afford to give up now. So you got to press your way through.
You tease grandmama, but what was she doing on her knees that time? You gotta do what?
Whoa, pray your way through.
Yes, yes. Uh-oh.
Pray your way through, yeah. I know it may be getting hard and weary too, but you got to pray your way through.
Wait a minute, can grandma say, you said pray my way through. Pray my way through. You said sometimes it's kind of rough, but you gotta pray your way through. And then when all goes well, what do we do here?
Praise our way through.
Yes.
Praise our way through. Oh. You can't afford to give up now. So you got to pray your way through.
Tell them one more time about pressing. Come on now.
Press your way through.
Somebody might be going through right now.
Press your way through. Oh. You can't afford to give up now. So you got to press your way.
Told you the grandson watching. He said, see, she in the audience and I love her.
Mama.
Boy, you done did it. You done did it.
Mama, that was good, Mama. Mama, that was good.
I think I got excited because I could barely fold this big old towel. So come on.
Mama, you know what else I remember?
What?
I remember that song y'all were singing in the choir. You said, there's not a friend like the lonely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. Can I say it one more time? Can I say it one more time?
I'm about to go fold these pages. You backing up.
There's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. No, not one.
'Cause Jesus knows all about our struggles. And He, no matter what you're going through, will guide you until the day is done. See, there's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. I want to stop you for a minute. Would you stop for a minute? Commercial break. What I learned is, what does this mean when you see the finger up like this? Anybody? Pardon me? What does it mean in the church? Yes. Anybody can still do it, but I have to give you something that I learned about this. Back in the day, during slavery, when it was and the slave was going to use the bathroom so that they can be seen
and know so they wouldn't run away, they'd always have to point their finger up and tell the master they were gone, and they had to show that finger when they came back. That is the difference. Sometimes we do things just because they were. And when I saw that, I did like this. But for anybody else, Jesus knows all about our struggles. And I know He, no matter what we're going through, He'll guide us till the day is done. But there's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. Come on out here, because I gotta say it to him. Come on, you ready? No, 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 no!
No, not one. No, 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 no. No, not one. No, you remember that pastor? You remember what that pastor would do? Yeah, that old pastor Smith. He said, "There's not a friend like the lowly Jesus." There's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. Ooh, Lord.
Boy, you better stop teasing so much. Go on now. Listen, you won't give me one of them cookies, but Miss Dottie, she ain't feeling good. I want you to do me a favor. First of all, I want you to help me move this chair. Would you help me do that first? Come on, move it over a little bit. You like Grandma's house right this way? You do? Yeah. Will's upholstery. Hey, I'm just saying. That feels good. Miss Dottie, no, don't eat all the cookies. I told you to give one to Miss Dottie. Jesus. Listen, she ain't feeling good, and I asked you to please go over there. Make sure Miss Dottie gets some. Tell her I'll be around soon.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Now the friend, like the lovely Jesus.
Watch yourself.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Now, see, I told him to help me move it. He ain't even helping me move it. I don't want Grandma to see Grandma too strong and try to act up. I'll show him.
Hey, you boys, stop. Come here. Where are you going? I said, where are you going? What's that in your hand? Put it on the ground. Put your hands on the car. What I said, put your hands on the car now. You deaf boy? Someone just robbed a store that fits your description. He's brown skinned, real tall, with short hair. Green shirt, brown pants.
I know this is not still happening today.
In Minneapolis tonight, tensions are high as 4 police officers have been fired after a man was pinned to the ground and died. The incident was caught on camera. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has the video, and we must warn you, the images are disturbing.
Now to Georgia and the latest developments in a fatal shooting we have been following. Police have arrested and charged 2 white men for the killing of 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery, an unarmed black man who was shot while jogging in his neighborhood back in February.
Now to the latest on Sandra Bland, the woman who was found dead in a Texas jail cell 3 days after being arrested during a traffic stop.
Tonight, an exclusive from the ABC 15 investigators.
You're about to hear from the Arizona man whose traffic stop made national headlines.
Jury decision not to charge any officers involved in that encounter.
On a cell phone, Philip Colbert recorded how he would.
All charges were dropped on Amy Cooper. Amy Cooper, you wonder? Well, she's the young lady who was walking her dog in Central Park, and Christian Cooper just asked her to put a leash on the dog. All charges was dropped. They have a videotape of her lying about him trying to harm her. Breonna Taylor, whether she was in her bed or whether she was up, she was in her house. And unfortunately, she's not here to tell her story. George Floyd, fake $20 bill, and maybe he did more, but it shouldn't have caused him to die like he died. Lord, why did you make me black? Why would you make someone that the world wants to hold back? See, black is the color of dirty clothes, of grimy hands and feet. Black is the color of darkness, of tired and beaten streets. Why did you give me thick lips and a broad nose, kinky hair? Why would you create someone who just receives a nasty stare? Black is the color of a bruised eye when someone's hurt. Black is the color of darkness. Black is the color of dirt. Why did you make my bone structure so thick, and my hips and my cheeks so high? Why did you give me brown eyes instead of the color of the sky? Why do people feel I'm useless? And how come I feel so used? Why, when people see my skin, they just automatically think she should be abused. Lord, I just don't understand. What is it with my skin that can have somebody to hate me and not know the person within? Black is the label they use to keep people away. Black is just a shade of the day. Black is also the end of the day. But my people even misuse me. And Lord, that ain't right. They don't like my skin. They don't like my hair. They say I'm too dark. Some say too light. Ooh, Lord. Don't you think it's time to make a change? Why don't you redo creation and make everybody the same?
Why did I make you black? Why did I make you black? I made you the color of coal from which beautiful diamonds are formed. I made you the color of oil, the black gold which keeps people warm. Your color is the same as the rich dark soil that grows the food that you need. Your color is the same as the black stallion and the panther. Oh, what majestic creatures indeed. All colors of the heavenly rainbow can be found throughout every nation. But when all these colors are blended, you become my greatest creation. Your hair is the texture of a lamb's wool, such beautiful creature is he. I am the shepherd who watches over them. I will always watch over thee. You are the color of the midnight sky. I put star glitter in your eyes. There's a beautiful smile behind that pain. That's why your cheeks are so high. You are the color of the dark clouds from the hurricanes I create in September. I made your lips so full and thick so when you kiss, they'll remember. Your stature is strong. Your bone structure thick to withstand the burden of time. The reflection you see in the mirror, that image that looks back, that is mine. So get off your knees. Look in the mirror and tell me what you see. I didn't make you in the image of darkness. I made you in the image of me.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move.